What's
And we're
going
live.
on?
What's going on, Rudy?
Not
So I want
much.
to welcome I want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Water Cooler, episode number 12. We're coming to you live on a Wednesday afternoon, sunny Wednesday afternoon, June 24th from the Callum Public Library.
I can't
My
believe
name's
this is
Bobby.
already episode 12. This is what,
12
3 months
episodes.
in.
Yeah, I
Jeez.
know. Imagine in 2 years, episode 129.
We're gonna have to do something special for that episode at least. At
Oh,
least episode 100.
I already have something in mind for episode 50 and episode 100 because I probably won't be here. But in case I am, I've got some great ideas, man.
You're gonna
Great
be
ideas.
I'm sure it involves sitting in a hammock somewhere with a barbecue grill going or some drinks.
I will not spoil anything. People just have to stick around long enough and they'll find out. So how are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Hanging in
Yeah.
there, staying clean, keeping my mask on, sanitizing, and washing my hands profusely. My hands are so dry right now just because I'm washing them. I'm washing them every other
Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay, so we have a comment here by Allison. Pretty soon you're going to do an episode where you both have the long Dumbledore beards. Well, I mean,
And
Rudy's getting there, right?
dude, I got the quarantine vibes. I got quarantine facial hair. I got the quarantine hair, long hair, quarantine hair / don't care. Hashtag don't care.
Hashtag don't care. All right, well, let's just jump right into it. Our first topic of the day is Holy Smokes, Batman. So I don't know if you all are comic book fans or DC comic fans or superhero movie fans, but yesterday I ran across this article. It says
Oh.
Batman returns. Michael Keaton in talks to play Bruce Wayne in the Flash movie.
So Michael Keaton was one of the like the original Batmans, like back in the 90s, right?
He was right. When they decided to make the Batman into a movie franchise, Tim Burton picked Michael Keaton to be the first Batman, and I gotta say, man, I think this is great news.
I think he was like one of the better Batmans. Like he was right before, correct me if I'm wrong, George Clooney, right?
Oh yeah. He was the
Yeah.
first cinematic Batman to play
Right.
Batman in a movie, and it was great because Michael Keaton was sort of known before this for his comedy.
Right.
So people were kind of, all the fanboys were like, well, I don't know if this is going to work. And then it came out. I remember waiting in line for the midnight showing for it back in '89, I think it was.
Wow.
And I think he was great in it. He was great in it.
Yeah, he was awesome. I've probably watched that Batman when I was younger. I need to rewatch these. But what it mentioned something about like multiverses and like
Right.
Flash
So
being
yeah,
going back in time.
yeah. Let me explain. I'm not the comic book nerd, but I know a little bit because I've read some. I've watched some of the DC. I guess what's that channel? The
CW.
Flash and yeah. So the CW. Let's see. If Michael Keaton returns, does that mean Robert Pattinson will be Terry Batman Beyond? No. So the way it's going to work is that because Batman was formerly played by who was the Batman before? Well, okay. So we had a whole bunch of Batmans, right? And then we had the Batman with Christian Bale.
Right.
But now that they're trying to create the whole DC universe, Batman was being played by, do you know, Rudy? Like in Justice League and Batman, Superman. Ben Affleck, I think. Right. It was Ben Affleck. So he decides to leave the franchise. So they are going to bring in Robert Pattinson to play the new Batman, but because the Flash is able to travel between different universes or multiverse, realities, he's going to go back into the universe where Michael Keaton's character is Bruce Wayne, is Batman.
So he's going back in
So,
time to the times where Batman
well,
was
he's
good.
not going back in
Batman,
time.
Batman
He's
Begins.
going back to that universe where that Batman exists, who I guess will be a much older Batman than the
Right.
Batman from the universe that we know currently, if that makes any sense.
I'm sure it'll make some sense to some people. I'm still trying to gather all this DC multiverse and Arrowverse and Supergirlverse.
Yeah, yeah. So
It's very
okay,
interesting. It'll be good to see Michael Keaton back as Batman.
I can't wait. I love Michael Keaton. I've always liked Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. He's done a lot of really good movies. I'm excited. Another point I want to make is for those who watch the CW's The Flash, that's played by a different actor than the Flash from the movies so far. From I guess the Justice League,
So it's not
but
Ezra Miller.
but this guy actually appeared on the TV show The Flash, and both Flashes met each other because they're from different multiverses. So that was also kind of cool for those people who care.
That is
I know
pretty
we have
cool. No, I mean, yeah, it
I
sounds
know we have
interesting.
some people out there who are into comic books. We have a few people who are on staff who should have gotten Sean to like maybe jump in and maybe
Sean,
clarify things a little bit better. But
Sean would have
I'm
made everything
excited.
make sense to me.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, for those of you who care, Michael Keaton's coming back as a Batman. I'm excited. I hope they play the old Batman theme when he does come in because that's going to be awesome. And by the way, Prince had a really awesome song from that original Batman soundtrack. FYI,
Nice.
I
I'll be
love Prince.
watching. I'll be watching. I'll watch Michael Keaton as Batman. Why not?
Yeah, it should be good. So, do you like cats, Rudy?
So
Beyond,
I'll be honest. No, I'm not much of a cat fan. I'm not much of a pet fan in general. I've had a
okay.
dog. I've had a dog in the past with my family, but yeah, right now I'm not a pet person.
Well, neither am I. Which leads us to this story.
Great minds, great minds.
So they recently did a study. I don't remember who the university was, but it just
It's
they released their findings. And let's see, scroll back up.
Colorado State.
Yeah, Colorado State study shows women don't want to date men with cats.
Hmm. Interesting. So
So
this is based on like stuff on like dating apps, dating websites.
all of that's included. So they found that like most women prefer dating guys or men who were not cat lovers or own cats.
But who wouldn't want to date a guy like look at this guy? He's cradling a little kitten with his big manly hands. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the reasoning behind it. I don't know, but that's what the that's what the study found.
I think it's part of it is like I looked into the study and some of it was like all these words that described what women perceive men with cats were like he's too like he's too gentle and he's too open-minded and creative and this and that. And then when they asked them about like men with dogs in the picture, it's like, oh, he's manly and tough and
Right. So I'm guessing
assertive.
they they uh, they found that men were with dogs are alphas and men with cats are betas. Is that the reasoning here?
Pretty much, basically, that's it. Dog
See, a
men.
lot of people are saying false that it had a small sample size.
Yeah, it
Let's
was
see.
like 700 people or something. Yeah, it
Julia says,
was,
I like cats, but I'm a dog person, so I like guys who also like dogs. I think it's
dog,
adorable if guys have cats.
men with dogs and a big truck to put the dog in the back.
Those ladies are probably mean. I can't speak to that. LOL, which is weird because cats are meaner than cats. I'm sure she meant to say dogs.
Dogs are meaner than cats. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again,
Cats can
I'm
be
not
pretty
a
rude, man.
I'm not an animal person. I don't own. I mean, We have pets at home, but none of them are mine per
You
se.
don't, you don't
So
associate with them.
I don't
They're there.
associate
You're just
with
not there with
animals. Right, right. So, I mean, it's an interesting finding. I don't know how accurate it
them.
really is, but there you go. Women
Ladies,
prefer
ladies
men.
in the chat, women in the chat, go ahead and say, are you a cat lover? Are you for guys that are cat guys or dog guys? Men with dogs or men with cats?
Let's see. Check out the BuzzFeed video on guys that own cats. A lot of the comments loved it, and she gives a link there. We can't watch it now, but I'll go ahead and watch it later on. Check it out. You know.
I don't know. That's it's. I think it's also preference too. I mean, women are gonna say, "Oh, he has a cat. Our cats can meet." You know, like, or maybe there are women that have dogs and it's like, "Oh, our dogs can meet. I like this guy with the dog." I don't know.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
all preference.
Preference. All right. Let's move
But
on.
wait, what? Last thing, are you a cat person or are you a dog person?
If I had to choose, I'd rather be a cat person only because
Bukowski.
they're not so needy. So it's just okay. I have a cat; it can fend for itself. Where dogs are very, very needy. I swear, I walk in the door and the two dogs that we do have, they jump on me. They're constantly like staring at me. I can't eat a peanut butter jelly sandwich without them like giving me those puppy eyes. And yeah, they're very needy. I don't need that
You
kind
gotta
of I
walk
don't need
them.
that kind of love in my life. You know what I mean?
True that.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk about iOS 14. Rudy, do you know what iOS 14 is?
I know it has something to do with my phone.
Yeah, so there's two major kinds of phones, right? We have Android on one end, and then we have iPhones on the other. And they both run on different operating systems. Android runs on Android, which is owned by Google, and then we have out the iPhones that run on iOS. And so the latest update is going to be iOS 14, which I believe comes out in the fall. And I found it interesting because I've always been an Android person. And a lot of the new features that are going to be part of iOS 14, guess what? There are features that Android has had for like maybe 10 years, some of them. So yeah, let's get into it. So apparently, and I didn't know this because I've never really used an iPhone. iPhones never had an app drawer. So if you had apps, they all had to be on your screen or on different screens. Is that right, Rudy?
Yes, but they made it now so that is this an app drawer right here? I don't know. All right, let me get to the thing.
I can't really tell.
Like I have social media apps all together. I
Right,
have
but they okay,
a
but they
drawer.
still have to live on one of your screens, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, so with Android, the apps that you don't really use a lot, they're kept in an app drawer. They don't show up on any of your screens. You flip up, and all your apps show up alphabetically. You can put them on there if you want, but you don't have to. And my mind is blown that iOS never had this.
But wouldn't that just like
Doesn't it just
you
clutter up
you?
all your screens?
Well, I put them in that little. First of all, I don't download a whole lot of apps. Like I know people who have like 100 apps or like even like 50 apps, and it's just like, whoa, pause. I have like 20 apps at
Yeah.
most. I don't need that
Okay.
many
Well,
apps. I just use.
I have a lot of apps that I download, and I use them for work, for personal life, for some of my other stuff that I do with my podcasting and whatever, my band. So usually have a lot of different apps. But so look, Grace is saying you can put them in folders.
Right. I guess
I
that's what mine is.
I understand that, but they still have to live on your one of your screens. Where in Android they live in an app drawer that you can, bring up or take away. Like it doesn't. You're not always looking at all
Like
your apps all the time.
like they're there, but they're like hidden away.
Yeah, pretty much. The other thing that I was reading, let me see, was widgets.
Widgets.
So you guys never had widgetizer? Apparently.
Not like on the home screen. There's like here, I'll show you again. So like if I swipe to the this way, I got like I got like widgets. I got like weather and calendar,
Okay, so it's kind of
sports.
like Google now, where in Google, if you swipe to a certain side, you get like all your like news. You have like different things. But on Android, you can put little widgets on your home screen. So you can put your little
Right.
calendar. You can put a little widget that has like your music from, if you subscribe to any of the streaming services. Pretty much a widget for just about any app. And you can customize your screen to look just the way you want it. And apparently now iOS is doing the same thing. Or as an Android fan, I would probably say they're finally catching up.
Widgets. It's like it's there. For me, it takes up space, doesn't it? It's just like
Well, I mean, would
it
you
takes
rather
up
look
like.
at a row of apps, or would you rather have a thing that says the weather, like right there on your home screen, or your calendar with your? I mean, I don't know. It's for me, they're very. They come in handy.
I got my weather on my phone, on
Well,
my
not
watch.
everybody does, so right.
Step up your digital device game, people.
So
Your
I
smart
want to
device.
ask the viewers: are you all Android? Are you all iOS? Are you excited about the new features? What are your thoughts on all this?
This one does look interesting. The picture in picture, that is pretty cool.
Oh, another thing, I didn't put that on our list to talk about, but yeah, you've been able to do that on Android for a while now, which is really cool. So let's say you're watching YouTube, but you want to go and read an article or check your email. You can close the app, but a little window pops up where it keeps playing. You can resize it, you can move it around, and you can go do other things, multitask. And I guess finally iOS is getting that. You know
There's
what?
I
Good for
personally
you all. Good for you all. It's 2020. It's time y'all caught up, right?
I personally am a Apple phone user, but I have two Android tablets. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit here, I'm a little bit there. I'm not a hater of either one. Also, I just want to point out the ads that I'm getting. It's just like, come on, chill
I
out.
wonder why you're
Peer
getting
pressure.
pizza ads.
I don't know what's going on. What is it? They're getting bike support on Apple Maps now. Um, Apple Translate. Okay. Also, another thing I want to point out is I use a lot of Google apps already on my iPhone.
Right.
So I'm not going to use Apple Translate because I already have Google Translate, and I'm not going
Right.
to I don't use Apple Maps because I have Google Maps.
Oh, Rudy, another thing. I was watching a video about the iOS update, and they're gonna make it so you don't have to use the iOS email app. Like you can set your Gmail as your default, and then you can also set Google Chrome as your default
Oh,
web
like a
browser.
browser.
They're going to actually allow people to set their defaults for email and browsing. So I
So
guess
that's
that's
good.
kind of
Yeah, that's
cool.
good. That's good because first of all, I don't use the Apple email app anyway, and I don't
Yeah.
use Safari.
I mean, I don't know a lot of people. Well, I mean, I guess people who have iPhones are kind of forced to because it's a default. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you can download Chrome and use that instead. But now you'll actually be able to set it as your default, which I mean, that's good.
What else here? Support for third-party music. That's about it. But yeah, well, also, I mean, a lot of people I know use Google, like Gmail on their phone or
Yeah.
Google Maps already. Um, so I mean, it's good for everyone.
It's
Thank you,
good for
Google,
everyone.
thank you, Google, for running my life for me and
There you
knowing
go.
everything about me.
There you go.
All praise Google.
All hail Google. But okay, on a more serious topic, though, there was an article that I read yesterday, and it's about hand sanitizers. So I think there was, let me see if I wrote the number down. There's nine
Fine.
different hand sanitizers most of them are being imported from Mexico. And the FDA is warning people that they contain a toxic material or compound, I don't know,
Methanol.
called methanol. And apparently it can cause blindness. Yeah, so that's pretty like serious.
It has a
I don't
picture of the labels.
of the different ones, and I mean I don't know if any of these specific ones are being sold in the valley, and I suspect maybe they are because the proximity to the border. I'm not sure, but I wanted to bring it up just to kind of give people a warning who had not heard about this. There was an article about it also in our local, one of the local papers. I don't know if you have the Valley Central.
I don't have that link, but I have this one.
Let's see.
I'm gonna find the other link.
Yeah, it
Let
should
me,
be in the show notes.
let me see. I'll get it. Well, that one has all the labels, and then let me pull up this other one. Does the Valley Central one have something else?
It might, but I know it talks about. It might mention some of the local, like if maybe they're being sold locally or not.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure most of these you can buy like across the border right here in Reynosa, most likely.
Probably.
So let me get the KVO.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it just says FDA warns 9 hand sanitizers disappeared on me.
It's loading. Here you go.
Okay.
So the products are from, okay, it's going to give me the whole COVID thing here. So the company that makes them is based in Mexico.
Right.
I mean, an easy thing to do is don't ingest your any hand sanitizer, right? Try and keep it
Right,
away
but I
from
mean,
your eyes.
when you're using it on your hand, sometimes you forget, you wipe your eyes, you get some proximity to your nose and your mouth. I mean, it can happen. Look, it gives different ones there.
There you go.
Let's go down the list here. Let's all clean hand sanitizer. What is it?
Biochem hand
Biochem.
sanitizer.
Clean Care, No Germ Advanced Hand Sanitizer. Lavar 70 Gel Hand Sanitizer. The Good Gel Antibacterial Gel. Clean Care, No Germ Advanced, and Saniderm Advanced Hand Sanitizer. So I don't know. Just be on the lookout. Make sure you know what you're using. Read the labels with anything, not just hand sanitizer, but anything you're ingesting or putting on yourself. Just check the labels, and stay informed.
Just buy American-made hand sanitizer.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. Just read the label, know what you're getting, what you're using, and what you're letting your kids and family use. So it's wise advice for anybody, just about on anything.
20 seconds washing your hands, right? 20 seconds with soap.
20 seconds at least, yeah. I use a little method where I start like singing to myself in my head, and when I'm done, I know I'm done washing my hands.
I don't know what song.
That I won't reveal. I'll reveal it maybe in my next episode. So stay tuned, y'all. All right. So moving on, we're going to talk about our last topic here, and that's Unsolved Mysteries.
News of the day.
Unsolved Mysteries is back. For those of you who don't know, Unsolved Mysteries used to be a show on NBC, maybe back in the 90s. And it was hosted by Robert Stack. He had that voice that you can't mistake his voice. And it had that theme music. And we would play it for y'all, but we don't have the rights to it. But y'all know what we're talking about. And then we have a different Unsolved Mystery of the week. And it was kind of like a true crime show before true crime was really a big thing, like it is now.
It changed the game because it had like that 800 number that you can call. Like if you've seen this girl or you've seen this child, this runaway child, they're this tall, they're last seen wearing this, and
Yeah.
that, call this number and maybe you can solve a mystery. And it's just like, oh
Right.
my gosh, I'm gonna be a sleuth and I'm gonna find this child. That was awesome.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, but they had also not just like missing people cases. They had a lot of those really like bizarre, unsolved, like not necessarily like UFO stuff, but just really some really bizarre stories. Speaking of bizarre stories, I think we have a one of our coworkers, Allison, has a streaming show on here. What's the name of it, Rudy?
It's called Strange Readings.
Strange Readings. Do you know
Strange
when
Readings.
that?
She does. When is the next Strange Readings? I'm not sure, Allison. If
Yeah,
you heard
anybody,
that, go ahead and let us.
anybody out there, our moderators might be able to let us know. But yeah, no, it's. I can't wait. I'm excited. I was a big fan of Unsolved Mysteries, and I believe they recently added them all to Netflix, like the old episodes. So
Oh, nice.
you feel nostalgic, or you just don't never got around to watching them, or you were just a kid back in the day. You can catch up on Netflix, I believe.
And according to this article, it says episodes are free on the FilmRise YouTube channel.
Okay,
FilmRise.
from Rise.
FilmRise
Okay,
has
so
a lot of good stuff.
I guess that's where people can find the old episodes. Do you? So when is this gonna start?
This one, I think they said July 1st or the 3rd. Let me see. Yeah, so they're featuring 12 new episodes, and then the first 6 are going to show up July the 1st on
Now,
Netflix.
does it say who's gonna be the host, the new host?
They might not even have a host.
I hope
I
they
think
do.
they're more like, if I could show some of the trailer, it's more like there's no like real host. They're kind of just talking to the people. Here, let me
Yeah.
see. It's more like cinematic now. It's just like, you see, it's more like a documentary series. It's like they'll talk to the person, but I don't think there'll be a host.
Well, and another thing that I also liked about Unsolved Mysteries, they do reenactments. They have actors doing. They have the real people, and then they have the reenactments.
Yeah, I love when they have the real people, and it's just like you feel kind of bad for them if they're like reenacting something that's like a murder or something like that.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, if it's something creepy and they're like reenacting it, it's just like, wow, this is what they went through.
Well, I know if I was ever to appear in an episode, I want George Clooney, of course, to play me in the reenactment.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. Why not? Let's see. Maybe it'll be a voiceover instead of a host.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just Robert Stack was so iconic, and his voice was so iconic that I would hope that they would be able to find somebody with that charisma and that presence. But I guess we'll see.
So they said they'll post the date as soon as they have a date for the next Strange Readings.
Strange readings. Okay. Well, once again, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be here live every Wednesday afternoon, usually about the same time, 3:10. My name is Bobby. Rudy.
I'm Rudy. You know how it is.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. Again, remember, fill out your census. And before we go, I do want to say that this week we lost Bilbo Baggins, Ian Holm, who played Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. And he was in a whole bunch of other things too. He's a great actor. He was in Alien. So rest in peace, and we'll see you all next time.
Rest in power. Peace.